And welcome everyone back to the Yo Nation YouTube channel. Oh my god, this is like my third take and I just can't seem to get it today. So whatever, I'm leaving this one in, it's cool. So welcome everyone back to the Yo Nation YouTube channel. I am your host, I am Zach, and we're here for another movie review to continue our wonderful, scary movie reviews for the month. And today we're talking about, oh my goodness, we're talking about a movie that definitely has divided individuals. We're literally a few days away from Halloween, and we're talking about Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. So yeah, this movie was kind of a last minute thing that was decided. Studio Dimension Films still had the rights at this time, and they weren't sure if they wanted to do another sequel or prequel or in-between film and all sorts of other stuff. But they decided to go with Rob Zombie, who not only directed this movie, but also wrote this film. And yeah, it was your typical Rob Zombie cast in this film. But, you know, like I said, this was a very decisive film. A very divisive film, should I say. A very divisive film. But, I don't know, I am on the fence of, I actually liked this one. Compared to his Halloween 2, which I'll talk about on another day, but I didn't like that film. This one has its problems, sure, but is overall not actually a bad movie at all. The movie does star, sadly, Sherry Moon Zombie as Deborah Myers, and Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis, and Scout Taylor Compton as Laurie Strode. That's your main cast, but you also get Brad Dourif as Sheriff Brackett. You get Danielle Harris, who was in the original series, who played Jamie Strode. She's in this as Annie Brackett. Excuse me. You get William Forsythe, who is in a lot of Rob Zombie's films, most recognizable as the sheriff in the Devil's Rejects film. He plays Ronnie White. You get Anna R. Hall as Judith Myers. And you get Tyler Mane as actual Michael. And this guy's, golly, he's imposing. He's huge. And Dag Fouch as young Michael. And Danny Trejo's in this movie. So it's got more of a cast, but they're all kind of minors. And you do get to see Tommy Doyle and little, oh geez, I just went brain dead. But, so the main reason I think a lot of people found this movie to be the way it is, it's very much a Rob Zombie-like movie. That is for sure. You see Michael before he was Michael. That was the beauty of the original version, is the fact that Michael doesn't talk. You don't know anything about Michael other than he's in Smith's Grove and he breaks out. And that Dr. Loomis says he's never spoke. He is evil, and you know this. In this, they're making Michael a sympathetic character. Right out the gate, you see he's got issues. He's killing a rodent. His sister's a bit of a hussy, if you want to say. Mom, Ronnie is a dick boyfriend for his mom, Deborah. He's a creepo. And you just see the home, mom's a stripper. And you just see home life is very tough for Michael. And he's being bullied at school. So yeah, you establish very quickly that Michael's home life is kind of crappy. And on top of that, every person who was around Michael was just horrible. These are horrible people. How am I supposed to feel like Michael is the bad guy? Michael is evil when the people he takes out in this movie, for the most part, kind of do really shitty shit to people. I'll elaborate more as I go through. But Michael, it's Halloween. He gets in trouble at school because they find a dead animal in his locker. So that's when you first meet Dr. Loomis and the principal, who's kind of a douchebag towards Michael. Michael tells the guy at one point to fuck off, and he's like, oh, fuck me? okay, so Michael's in trouble. But Michael sneaks off during all this and kills one of the bullies in the forest. He takes great pleasure, and he pulls the mask down, and he takes pleasure in it. And you kind of notice that Michael feels more freed with the mask on versus the mask off. It's like duel of personalities in a way. So Michael goes home. He still gets to go trick-or-treating, even though I think he's supposed to be 14, 15 years old at this point. I think he's like 14. It's just like, oh, you're too old. She ignores him. Her boyfriend comes. They go do the tango. And Michael is just down there eating candy. He's dressed up, and he doesn't get to go. He's only got a little bit of candy. And he notices the boyfriend passed out in the rocking chair. This guy, he's got a broken arm or a broken leg. He's messed up. So an accident happened. Michael ties him up with duct tape and slits his throat. And that's what really triggers Michael at this point. So then he, the boyfriend comes down, he hits him with a baseball bat, beats the fudge out of him, puts on the mask that the boyfriend brought, what he wore during the sexy time, and then he goes on to kill his sister in very brutal fashion. But you don't feel bad for them. Michael kind of touches her in a weird way, so you kind of get the idea of, ooh, maybe he kind of likes that. And then he goes to the baby's room, his baby sister, and he doesn't do nothing. He picks her up. They go sit outside and they wait for mom to come home, and then mom discovers the scene, and Michael is sent away. And they flash forward 11 months, and they're at Smith's Grove, and now Michael and Dr. Loomis are finally talking. And like I said earlier, one of the brilliant things about the original films was the fact that Michael didn't talk. Dr. Loomis didn't know what was going on in his head. Dr. Loomis tried to get through to him, but never could. And in this one, Michael's just talkative. But it takes over time as he's frustrated and wants out and is trying to get out of there, but can't get out of there because he's stuck there and he doesn't remember what he did. He becomes frustrated and he starts wearing darker looking masks and he starts to not take care of himself as well. Michael finally starts to close up, but it's over a period of time to the point where finally Michael's not eating. Michael's not really showering. Michael's wearing this dark mask, and if they take it off, it makes him mad. So you got to leave the mask on. Dr. Loomis, it's like Christmas time. Dr. Loomis and Mama Myers, they leave to go talk. And the nurse makes an innocent comment, not knowing what's going on in this boy's head, and he stabs the fuck out of her with a fork and kills her. And all of this puts so much pressure on Sherry Moon Zombie that she kills herself. So we finally fast forward 16 years later, and we see Michael in there, and we meet, we see Danny Trejo, who's showing Michael, and he's got walls of masks, and he's just shut down. He's not had a visitor since his mom left, and she killed herself. Dr. Loomis is leaving, says, I've tried, Michael. I've tried for 16 years, but this is it. So Dr. Loomis is gone. And Michael, for the most part, he's okay, right? He's okay for the most part. He stays to himself. But as soon as Dr. Loomis leaves, we see he's doing a seminar on a book he wrote about Michael, and you just get the picture of Michael's eyes. And he talks about the eyes being showing the true evil of this boy. But was Michael really? Was he really evil? I beg to differ. So Michael finally escapes because we met this new guard who's going to be taking over for Danny Trejo. But he's like a redneck, like douchebag. Again, it seems to be the theme for these people. They're all just a bunch of douchebags in this movie. He shows up with one of his friends to rape one of the patients at Smith's Grove. They decide they want to do it in Michael's room. Michael's kind of ignoring them, but then they touch his mask. Michael goes fucking psycho. He kills them. He goes on to kill Danny Trejo. Now, there's two versions of this. There's the director's cut and there's the theatrical cut. I can't remember which one's which, but in one version, Michael drops the TV on his head. In the other version, he drowns him, a much more merciful death. And I really wish that just would have been the version, is just where he drowns him. So Michael's like, yeah, I appreciate what you did, but now I'm going to drown you. And Michael didn't really close up till this guy says, hey, yeah, you're stuck in these four walls, but in here, there's no walls that can stop you. And Michael really took that and Michael lives in Michael's head, which shows more in the second one, sadly. So Michael's out, and we see him kill this guy, Big Joe Grizzly. Big Joe Grizzly. He's a trucker, and I forgot the actor's name, but he plays the guy who runs the whorehouse in Devil's Rejects. He's another guy who's in a lot of Rob Zombie's films, but he's there, and that's how Michael gets the jumpsuit. It's actually a really good scene where he just fights him off, and this guy's big too, and they fight each other in the bathroom, in the stall. It's a little bit of a fight, but ultimately Michael wins out, of course. And then we meet Lori, who's supposed to be our antagonist, or our protagonist, right? She's supposed to be the person we root for. And right out the gate, we see her mother and her talking, and Lori, she's a very vulgar child, talking about, oh, he felt me up, ooh, ooh, with a donut or a bagel. And you're like, what is this? This is not Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode was very shy, very unique, very closeted, very shy, humble. She's nothing like that. That's the thing that I think bugs me the most about these movies, is the fact that Laurie Strode was not the Laurie Strode that we got in the other two movies. And eventually I'll review the second one, and you'll kind of get a better idea of what I mean if you haven't already seen it. But if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So she meets Tommy as she's walking to school. They still drop the Myers key off because Michael shows back to the house to get to the mask that he hid. And oh my God. So we see her friends. We see Annie. We see Linda as they're walking back from school. And, in the original, Michael goes to the place to get his mask. So that's how we established that the sheriff is her dad. And this one, she's just found out, hey, my dad's the sheriff. And then dad shows up, takes her home. They do a lot of the same things with the headstone missing. And you get Loomis looking for him coming to the sheriff. But this version, he actually stops at Smith's Grove first to, chew the ass out because he's not there when Michael breaks out this time. So they do change up some things, but they keep a lot of things the same. Music, it's a Rob Zombie film with music. I'll just leave it at that. So we do get Bob and Linda doing it, but instead of doing it at the house where Annie's supposed to be, they do it at the Myers house. And Bob gets killed first, still with the sheet on and the glasses. You still get that scene, but in this one, it's much more vulgar, much more violent, and a lot more nudity. And Linda, she gets straight up killed pretty bad. Laurie's foster parents get murdered in this version. And yes, there's going to be slight spoilers. But is there really spoilers in this movie? I don't think so. This movie is like 13 years old. Come on. So we see them get killed. Violently killed. Might I? That's the one thing about Michael that I love in this movie. Once Michael's actually Michael, he's so much more violent. Way more violent. And I know I said that in my Halloween 2018 review. But, oh my goodness. No, Michael is so much more violent in this. Tyler Mane and his physicality because of his size, just in the grunting, which I don't like. Michael didn't make noise, but in this, he's every time he really goes a ham on a person, it's pretty good. That much, I love that part. So we see Annie comes over with the girl. Why can't I think of her name? Why? Fix it in the comments, please. Tell me this girl's name. I can't remember it. But they come over for them to hang out with Tommy, and they start talking about, Ben Tramer wants to take you to the prom. She's like, and in the first one, she's excited, like, wait, Ben Tramer likes me? And this one's like, ain't Ben Tramer a bit of a... And she uses the tard word. And you're just like, what? And then Annie replies with, yeah, but not like short bus. And it's like, that is the biggest issue I had with this movie. I don't mind someone wanting to reimagine a story, but at least keep some of the fundamental core qualities of a character and don't make them so different from what they were. Yeah, oh, she wears glasses. She's a bit of a nerdy girl, but she's like that 1990s rom-com nerdy girl that just takes her glasses off and everyone realizes how hot she is. That's the type of nerdy girl she is in this. Where Jamie Lee Curtis's portrayal of this character is much more genuine. And that's another thing. I think Malcolm McDowell as an actor is excellent. And I don't think he did a bad job as Loomis. In fact, he's probably the best version of a character we got in this movie. But even then, it's just something about Donald Pleasance that was just different. And I know he was the original, so you're always going to have that attachment to him. And it's not to take away anything from Malcolm McDowell, just, excuse me, my throat's dry. It just doesn't seem to be, like, there's still some little things about him that just aren't as genuine as it was. That's just the thing. Those characters in that were just genuine. They felt real. These feel like movie characters. These feel like people pretending to be these characters. Where in the original, they just felt like genuine people. That's, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But we get to see Paul. He does go back over to see Annie. And they're doing it. So we see Danielle Harris topless. Okay, sure. Michael brutally kills the hell out of this guy. And he slashes the shit out of her. But she is alive. We find that out. Lori comes over to bring the kids back over. And she finds her there hurt. And we finally get to see some of the quality of Lori finally come out of her. But Michael then tries getting her. So the kids hide. And we get a similar scenario that we got in the first one, but this one they're like crawling through this like basement looking area. It's just like a chase all over the place. They end up in an old empty pool where Dr. Loomis finally shoots him. You know, Michael realizes that this is his baby sister, but she's just not understanding. You know, because Michael, I think, tries to hand her a picture, and that doesn't work. It doesn't seem. And then they finally get to the car. She's like, was that the boogeyman? And he's like, yes, I believe it was. A line from the original, but played out differently. And then Michael busts through the window, drags her back out. You think he might kill Dr. Loomis, but he just knocks Dr. Loomis out. You find that out in the second one. Spoiler! And, but Michael, he comes after her again. They finally end up in the Myers house, and they both go falling through the window to the ground. It's like boarded up, but they both fall to the ground. She lands on Michael. She has the gun that was in Dr. Loomis's coat, and she's beat up, and she clicks, and then fires, I think, a shot, and it kills Michael. And then she just starts screaming, and that's the end of the movie. It was a lot. It was a lot at the end. It was a lot of extra that I don't think was needed. But yes, I have issues with this movie. I'm not going to lie about that. I have quite a few issues with this movie, but I don't think this movie's a bad movie. Actually, it's quite the opposite. I think this movie was rather good. If this would have been its own contained story about its own stalker, maybe it would have been more enjoyable. But it was a Halloween movie, and because the score comes in, I think, at the end of the movie, and it's very jarring. You almost forget that it was a Halloween movie. But that's my Rob Zombie's Halloween review, and yeah, I had a lot of issues with it, but I actually did enjoy the movie. And I know a lot of people are like, "How dare you like that? That's not Carpenter's version." No, it's not. It's a completely different take on the story. And yes, I have an issue with the characters being changed up to the degree that they were changed up, but I get it. He wanted to make it his own, and that's fine. I saw this in theaters, and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it in the theaters even. Now, as far as the second one goes, yeah, no, not so much. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Like I said, we're just a few days from Halloween. This Saturday is the final, this Saturday, Halloween, it's the final Halloween special countdown video. You guys really need to check that out. Got a Walking Dead review out. I got another Supernatural review coming out this week, supposed if it actually is coming. This is pre-recorded, by the way. But also, my Halloween special will come out at 6 p.m. this Saturday, giving plenty of time for the countdown video to get its hours. But it's going to come out. It's a cool little video. It's nothing special, but it's special to me. So I hope you guys really enjoy that. I hope everyone goes trick-or-treating, has a safe weekend. You guys can check out all the previous videos. I'll link a few at the end of this video you guys can go check out. Check out all the stuff. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, like, and share this video, and get your friends to subscribe. I am Zach. Stay happy, stay healthy, be nice to each other, and remember, join the nation. I'll see y'all later.